Coming to Winthrop for me meant getting the better future that my parents always wanted for me. They worked a lot. They both were born in Mexico, so they come from a completely different world. So like being in college and getting a degree and getting ahead with my life means a lot for them, so it means a lot for me.
Yeah, that's what's up. See, I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. Psych, really. Coming to college for me is just a way to escape, and pretty much I've been on my own for a while. So it was either come to college or spend the rest of my life struggling, and that's something I want to do. I want to make something better for myself.
Coming to Winthrop meant getting away from Sumter, South Carolina, and coming to Winthrop also meant getting away from like just trouble in general because like that's all there is to do in my town is get into trouble. So I like being somewhere where that's not all there is to do.
For me, coming to Winthrop was kind of like breaking the norm because my mom never went to college and we had like she had to work like 5 jobs, which is a lot, and I had to work throughout high school. So like for me, coming to college meant okay, I have a chance to get like a real job. Even though like my mom never went to college, like I get to do this, and it's something that I worked really hard to get to.
Well, I was already kind of acculturated to Winthrop because I came here for a STARTS program. It's really close to where I live. Coming to Winthrop was just, it was a place that was kind of like home to me. So it was sort of like natural. It was a nice movement like into adulthood, I guess, for me. It was like just a step up.
For me, it's the complete opposite. Like I came here because it was completely different than I was what people thought I was gonna do. Like there's a college 30 minutes from my house. I didn't want to go there. So for me, it coming to Winthrop meant like choosing what I thought was best for me and not what everybody else thought.
You know, a lot of people got mad at me for going to school because they felt like I'm leaving them behind and I'm not gonna, know who they are. Like at the end of the day, I gotta do what's best for me, not what's best for them. So they a little bit salty about that, and they kind of forgot who I am, but it's all good.
That sucks.
It happens.
Yeah. See, in high school, I didn't have like I had a lot of friends, but like there was like 2 or 3 that were like my really close friends, and we've stayed really close friends because like that's just how it's always been. It got a little rocky with my boyfriend at times though, because it's hard being away from someone, and like with my parents, it was normal because they would always come see me, and they'd always bring me really good food. Like whenever my mom came, I knew she was gonna bring me food, so my fridge would be full.
I'm hungry right now.
Coming to Winthrop has pretty much affected all my relationships with everyone I know from back home. There are a lot of people from back home that I don't talk to anymore. We're just completely different people now than we used to be, but for some people, like, we became a lot closer. And we get to talk about the struggles of being freshmen in college, and my mom and I are always going to be best friends, so that hasn't changed, and I'm glad that hasn't changed. What about you?
Well, the relationships Winter affected. It affected all mine too, but I mean, my friends it would affect it in a good way because everybody was like really proud of me for coming to a college in South Carolina because I was the kid who was always saying like, I hate this place, I hate it here, I need to go, I want to be to Ohio State, I do not want to be here, and so like I mean, I made a lot of my friends happy that because they could visit, but as far as family, like a lot of my family was like, oh, you think you're better than us, like stuff like that, like but just because I'm going to try to further my education. But that's with that. Oh, and I had a girlfriend when I first came here, but winter definitely affected that. So I mean, that's dead. So,
Oh.
but yeah, that's what winter. That's what my first year did. So there's some good and some bad, some ugly, but altogether it's fine. The biggest challenge I faced when I came to winter. Ooh, that's a tough one. But I would say the biggest challenge I faced when I came to Winthrop was adjusting to living alone and like being on my own and having to depend on myself for everything. Not saying that I was like spoiled or anything. It's just that I wasn't used to making decisions on my own. So now that I'm here, I was forced in those situations. And I mean, I overcame it because like I just buckled down and was like, you know what, this is me. I had to do this, and I mean it matured me a lot more. College does that. You have to prepare yourself for that, and it matures me a whole lot more. And honestly, no, I would do nothing differently. I love Winthrop. I love my first year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it here. What about you?
For me, the hardest thing I think is making friends, because when I was in high school and I did IB, I was with the same 10 people all the time. So, like, your friends were built in. Like, you knew who your friends were because you saw them every day, every class, all the time. But here, you know, you're with so many different people, but you kind of don't have your friends laid out for you. And so for me, it was finding people that I have stuff in common with. And I overcame that by when we did Connect ourselves. I was one of the ones that got up and danced, and I met a bunch of people that I'm really good friends with now, like Jamie and Mickey. And if I could go back, I would definitely try to talk to more people sooner, because it's really hard to make friends if you don't know how to talk to people. And I kind of learned later how to approach people and be like, I like this. Do you like this? Can we be friends? Like, it's not something you just automatically get. So that's what I would change.
The biggest challenge with coming to Winthrop University was time management and procrastination. Because in high school I had the same issue, but it was high school. You know, I could do something on the bus ride to school and still get it done and get an A on it. But in college, you do something 2 days before, that's too late. You know, so big thing I did is just become more proactive. Like I see I have something to do, and if I have some, like I have time, it's like do work. Don't use an excuse of, well, I'm already laying down, so I might as well. You kind of gotta put the fire to yourself and get up, get something done. At least put some work on it, because once you start getting the groove of working, the best thing to do is just to like let it snowball and just do everything. Like, oh, well, I already finished up this paper. Boom, let me work on this assignment. Blah blah. And you get like so much accomplished in such a short amount of time, and that burst of energy is like wow. But if you try to like drag it on and push it off, you're tired, but you don't have any other options. So now you have to do it, and it's not gonna be as good work.
A challenge to me would have to be learning how to study. In high, like Jaheim said, like in high school, you didn't have to you didn't have to put much effort into things. Like I never had to study in high school. Like I could read information and take it like a week later and make an A on a test. But here it's like you can't do that. You have to actually study and retain the information. So studying tips like help, studying sessions help, group sessions. You just have to learn how to study and balance.
My challenge was just having the confidence to actually get involved at first, and I just did it by doing it, basically. I tried to get out there. I applied to be an OC. I didn't get it. It was okay, and I applied to be a tutor. I got that, and here I am as an OC, and I'm still going.
I think the hardest thing was like doubting myself academically. Like I didn't do bad in high school, but college is college. Like it's a higher level of education. But I got over it by, like you said, applying myself and working as hard as I could. And I realized it's not that bad. But yeah.